Boston Celtics are the NBA World Champions.
I pride myself in being the guy who's going to win it for us and deliver under pressure. And it didn't happen.
I hope he was hurt and hope it killed him. He made some bad plays down the stretch, and nobody in there was happier than me. You know, not only winning the game makes you feel good, but just knowing the other guy's suffering, and you know he was.
Earvin Magic Johnson is seen by many, maybe even most, as the greatest point guard in NBA history. This incredibly flashy superstar made it all the way to the NBA Finals 9 times in his career, and in almost every instance, he excelled on the court when it mattered the most. Most basketball historians would consider Magic as one of the most clutch players of all time. But unfortunately, in one specific final series, he was anything but clutch. And the outcome was so devastating to him emotionally and psychologically that people at the time questioned whether or not he would be able to recover and redeem his reputation. To understand the context and the magnitude of the moment, we have to briefly recap the beginning of Magic's career. The 1979 NCAA championship game was basically the beginning of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson's rivalry, as it was not only a massive contest for the two stars involved, but to this day, it is still the highest viewed NCAA game in all of history. Magic and Michigan State took home the national championship, right as he was about to make his entry into the NBA. Over the next few seasons, Magic and Bird would take the NBA by storm, as Johnson led his team to the title in 1980, then Bird's Celtics won in 1981, and then Magic's Lakers won in 1982. Almost instantaneously, they had become the two biggest stars in the NBA. Yet despite their individual rivalry and their continual success, their teams kept narrowly avoiding each other in the NBA Finals, which was an unfortunate reality that both the league office and the general audience wanted to see rectified as soon as possible. Then, in 1984, it finally happened. Magic's Lakers and Bird's Celtics were set to square off in the NBA Finals, for what was certainly one of the most highly anticipated matchups in sports history. Up to this point, given the talent and resume of the two very proven stars, you would expect these legends to perform at their best when it absolutely mattered the most. And most of the time in this series, they did. Over the course of the series, Larry Bird averaged 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists, while hitting 48% of his shots, while Magic averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds, and nearly 14 assists, on 56% shooting from the field. Based on these numbers, you would think that Magic was anything but tragic in this series. But although Magic may have showed up for the big games, he shrunk in its biggest moments. After stealing Game 1 from Boston, Los Angeles had an opportunity to take a stronghold of the series by winning Game 2 on the road as well. The score was tied at 113 with only 13 seconds left on the clock, and what Magic proceeded to do next was shockingly uncharacteristic of him.
You watch the clock at the lower part of your screen. They're looking for Kareem. Magic Johnson keeps looking inside. 2 seconds, 1 second. And they don't get it off.
Magic simply dribbled out the clock in one of the most perplexing decisions in basketball history. Now in overtime, with less than a minute remaining, Magic missed a wide open jumper that would have put the Lakers up by 3. Then, on the other end of the court, Magic is late to close out on Scott Wedman, who hits the game-winning jumper for Boston. Now the Lakers would bounce back for Game 3 in Los Angeles, as they blew the Celtics out 137-104. But then, in Game 4, the game was close, and Magic would find himself in a similar situation to Game 2. Once again, the game was tied at 113, and yet again, Magic disappointed and left his fans stunned.
Rambis to Magic. To be sure they won't let the time run out this time as they did in Game 2. 8 seconds. Harris steals the ball and the Celtics call a timeout with 3 seconds to play.
the game went to overtime, and the score is tied at 123 with only 35 seconds left on the clock. Now Magic is at the free throw line, where he continued to crumble under the pressure. Looking at this man at the line, and based on the fear in his eyes, you wouldn't know that he was already a 3-time champion, and once won the Finals MVP at just the age of 20. Then on the other end, Larry Bird buried the game-winning fadeaway right over the top of Magic Johnson. The energy, effort, and execution was so lacking for Magic in these instances that many basketball fans have gone on to speculate that this whole thing was fixed, and that Magic allegedly threw the game on purpose. As wild as that sounds, it somehow seems even more plausible when you consider just how bad the Hall of Fame point guard looked in the most pivotal moments. Even with these unforced errors in Game 2 and Game 4, Magic and the Lakers still somehow forced a Game 7 in Boston. Yet again, the game was close, and with less than 2 minutes remaining, Magic had the opportunity to redeem himself in an epic fashion. But instead, he solidified one of the greatest choke jobs in basketball history.
Lakers can cut it to 3 with a minute and a half now remaining. Magic Johnson goes up without the ball, and here's Dennis Johnson 2-on-1 break. And a block by Cooper. What a play by Cooper. He saved a basket, a sure basket by Boston. Worthy coming back, hits the jumper, and it's a 3-point game. 105-102. 109 remaining. 16 on the shot clock. Celtics with only one more timeout. Lakers have a luxury there. Bird. And Rambis. Now Johnson with the ball. The Lakers trying to cut it to 1. And he loses it. Again to Dennis Johnson, who's going in against Cooper again.
These were not just mistakes, but they were horrible, uncoordinated, boneheaded plays that you would never expect in a million years from the game's greatest floor general. The Celtics ran away with it, winning the deciding 7th game with a final score of 111-102. For an entire offseason, Irvin Johnson, the man who was once given the nickname Magic due to his dazzling wonders on the court, was now given a new name, Tragic Johnson. According to Magic, he cried all summer long. He loved to be loved, but with this loss, with his new identity, and with the media scrutiny, he entered the most depressing offseason of his entire life up to this point. If you didn't know the player, and were told that a guy had these averages over the course of an NBA Finals series, you would think that it would be considered by many as one of the greatest playoff performances of all time. But in reality, because of a few major blunders in crunch time, it simply earned him the nickname Tragic. Obviously, Magic bounced back the following season, leading his team to 62 wins and eventually the NBA championship, where he got his revenge on Bird and the Celtics. Thanks to a strong second half of his career, Magic was able to make many people forget about the worst part of his career as a pro. But at the very least, for a small window of time, the basketball world viewed this superstar as the very definition of a choker. So what do you guys think? Do you hold the 1984 NBA Finals against Magic? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.